You've come to the right place if you're looking to create, launch, and scale a high-value online training program. I'm your guide, Chris Badgett. I'm the co-founder of LifterLMS, the most powerful learning management system for WordPress. Stay to the end. I've got something special for you. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of LMScast. My name's Chris Badgett and I'm joined by a special guest. I'd like to introduce you to my Facebook group competitor. His name is Jono Petrohilos. He's from across the world. He's in Australia. I'm in the United States. We both have Facebook groups for the course creator community. What I love about Jono is he's a course creator. He practices what he preaches. He has a long history in teaching fitness online. And he discovered a love for, helping fellow course creators and just kind of going deep in this whole industry of online business and online courses. But first, welcome to the show, Jono.
No, thank you very much for inviting me on, Chris. I'm a huge fan of yours. Your Facebook group was one of the first ones I joined when I was like, you know what, I want to see what's going on in the course creator community. So you've done well with your SEO on the Facebook group because I found that and I've been being there for over a year now. So it's an honor to be on this podcast, and if I can give your listeners some value, I'd be happy to do that.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And if you're looking for Jono, it's just Course Creator Community. He has a podcast by that name, and that's also the name of his Facebook group. So go check that out. Can you give us, Jono, a high-level overview of and also like a timeline, like how long ago did this start? You teach fitness online and certain aspects of that, and then you got into helping course creators. What was the broad arc of that story there?
Yes, well, it's a long story, but I'll summarize it in about a minute. So I used to be a fitness trainer myself, and I'd run a face-to-face boot camp, and I used to suck at it. All right, I was at a franchise, and there were 75 different locations across Australia, and you were ranked on how good you were. 1 being the best, 75 being the worst. Take a guess what you think I was ranked, Chris, starting off.
74.
I wish. 75, right? Dead last. But I loved what I did. I really loved it. I just wasn't good at it. So to get better, I was like, well, what can I do? Let me study, and I attended a whole heap of courses and workshops and YouTube videos and read books and blogs and attended other trainer sessions, and got to, after about 12 months of that period, actually got to be number 1 in the franchise. Then I opened up another location and I got really, really good at what I did. And I was always upskilling, always attending other courses, workshops, sessions, conventions, whatever it may be. And it got to a point and I was like, you know what? I'm still learning. Every convention I go to, every course I do, I'm learning. But I feel like I could put together something that's better or at least different to anything else out there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a crack. It's a proven concept. I've done 10 of these courses already. And every course I go to, there's 20 other trainers. So I know there's a market for it. Let me put something together. So I put together my first online course, How to Run a Successful Bootcamp. This was 2014. And this was tailored just for fitness trainers. So not for the general public who wanted to get fit. If you're a certified personal trainer and you want to run a better bootcamp with the business side, the workouts, the retention, all of that, you would take my course there. Now, that's a whole other story, that course there, but just in the overview, that's how I created that first course. And then, usual deal, sucked at the start, but got better. Long story short, by about probably 2017, 2018, I grew that to about $1 million a year business. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And a couple things started to happen there. Number one, I started to get over the fitness side a little bit because I was no longer running the boot camps, right? All my time was spent online in funnels and sales and marketing. So my passion shifted a bit more, shifted from fitness to like online course stuff. And I didn't know what I wanted to do at that stage, but I could feel the passion shifting. And also it was something inside of me as well, because when the major thing in that boot camp course is, hey, you're a fitness trainer. Here's how you can make $100,000 a year working 1 hour a day. right? And that was sexy. It was a good hook, you know. But now here I am doing $1 million. And I think there's some conflict inside me where it's like, hold on, I'm a bit of a hypocrite here. I'm telling people to go and run this boot camp thing to make $100,000 when I'm sitting here doing this online thing making a million. So I was like, it's a bit of and also just a bigger thing. I'm like, I feel I've got a bigger skill than just helping fitness trainers there. So just recently, about a year ago, I started the Facebook group, the Course Creator Community. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do in that space yet, but that's the direction that I'm heading, is I'm going to put together something to help course creators sell more courses. How that looks exactly, I don't know. I've just got a membership site there at the moment. I'm just, having some fun and helping some people out. But that's the direction I'm going to move going forward. Now, I've still got the fitness education online business, and that's pretty much running itself now. So I've got a staff, I've got team, and that's freed up my time to focus on other stuff. So that's sort of a high level overview of what I do.
That is really cool. And go check out coursecreatorcommunity.net. There's a couple of things you said in your story that I want to highlight. One of them is that in the beginning, first of all, you kind of went after a market that you understood. Like you basically scratched your own itch, and then you stayed focused. Like it's not fitness in general; it's for fitness instructors, and then you just stayed with it, and you launched without getting all hung up in the it's got to be perfect. Like you said, you just get better and better and better. Like I see that pattern a lot with people that make it, is they are okay with imperfect forward progress. Like why are you okay with that? Why didn't you get caught in the weeds of, it's got to be perfect, or my videos have to be perfect, or whatever?
Okay, so that's a good story. I'll share that. So 2014, when I was like, right, I want to put a course together. I didn't even know what an online course was, because most of the courses I was going to were actually face-to-face workshops. But I knew I didn't want to do that because I was so busy with my fitness business. It was the online thing was always going to be a side thing. I was reading Think and Grow Rich, and they spoke about passive income and whatever. And I was like, all right, this seems like a good idea here. So I didn't even know what an online course was. And I thought you had to, get a web designer and they built a website for you. And I got a quote, and I think it was $15,000, and I didn't have $15,000. So I was like, okay, it looks like I'm not going to do this online course thing. But then I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw an ad, and it was like, this was back in 2014, and it was, hey, purchase my ebook. Because ebooks used to be valuable back in 2014, Now it's just like, give me your email. Now it's an excuse to get your email address. But I was like, an ebook? What the crap is an ebook? So I purchased it for whatever it was, $50 or something. And I'm like, hold on, this is just a Microsoft Word document saved as a PDF. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm no I was a technical dunce, but I know how to open a Microsoft Word document, and I know how to press save as for a PDF. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. So that was my first online course, literally a PDF that sold for $300. But even deeper than that, I looked at it, and before it went to market, I was like, you know what? It just looks like a Microsoft Word document. I need to do better. So I went to make it look better. I put some borders and some headings and some numbers. And because I suck at tech, I actually made it look worse. It was indented all over the place. And I'm like, oh man, I was depressed. I was going to give up. But then I was scrolling through Facebook again, and I saw an ad for this website called Fiverr. It said you can get anything you want done for $5. I'm like, is this a joke? And I opened it up, and I'm like, man, you literally can get anything you want for $5. There was a gig on there from a guy that said he would slap himself in the face if you gave him $5. And I'm like, what? So anyway, I paid $5. I paid both of them. I paid the guy $5 to slap himself, and I also paid $5 for the formatting. And the formatting made it look better. And I was like, okay, this is getting better. Then I got the email from the guy who slapped himself in the face, and he didn't hold back. Like, he really slapped himself in the face. And I'm like, at the start, I felt sorry. I'm like, man, there's things some people do for money. But then I looked at what he sent me. It was actually an unlisted YouTube video, and it had 100,000 views. And I'm like, hold on. This guy slapped himself in the face once and sent it to 100,000 people for I don't know how much for. Maybe even if they take half, that guy's made hundreds of thousands of dollars from slapping him in the. And this guy wasn't some guru, or he looked like a bit of a loser. Had glasses, braces, wasn't that good looking. Like I'm like, man, if this guy can do that, and all these things were just coming in my head. I'm like, man, this person sold me a Microsoft Word document for $50. This guy slapped himself in the face for $5 and made $200,000. What the crap is my excuse? And even further still, actually, going back to my boot camp days, my mentor at the time was the person who owned all 75 locations. And she told her story. She's like, hey, look, I'm not the smartest person. I'm actually the dumbest person always in high school. I actually dropped out of high school. My first job was at Walmart. I actually got fired from Walmart. I didn't steal. I wasn't late. They just thought I wasn't good enough for the job. So I got fired from Walmart. So I, started up one boot camp and then another and another. And I'm just like, man, especially in that fitness space, I'm degree qualified. I've got a degree in exercise physiology. I'm just like, man, this woman's a high school dropout, fired from Walmart, can open. What's my excuse? I just had all this confidence going in. And actually going back to the unlisted story, then I discovered unlisted YouTube videos. And I was like, hold on, maybe I can also put these links into my ebook to make it look like a better product. So then the final product, it still wasn't great. I would be embarrassed of it today, but it was it was good info, at least. The info in there was really good. There was text, there was video, it was formatted, so it didn't look horrible. And I put it out there, and still I was nervous. But the reason I was able to get it out there was just all this confidence. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. This person's doing it. This person's doing it. This person's doing it. I can do it too. So it was all that confidence. I still remember when I sold my first one, I was so scared because there was a feedback form at the end of it. And I'm like, man, they're going to ask for a refund. They're going to, they're going to say, you sold me a Microsoft Word document for $300. Like I already knew this stuff. I was so nervous. But then I got the feedback form and it was all positive. It was like, I loved the course. It was great. It was online. Could do it at my own pace. All these ideas I didn't think of. Well done. You've done an awesome job. And I was at the start, I was just relieved. I was like, okay, it wasn't a refund. Then the second feedback came in, same thing. Third feedback came in. After about the third, then I'm like, okay, I'm onto something. I've 3 people have done it. They've all given me raving reviews. Then my confidence just skyrocketed. And then the quality probably went down a little bit, to be honest, because I thought I was king of the world. And I was like, this online stuff's easy, and I just put a heap of stuff out where I could have done better. But now I've obviously gone back and improved that. But that's essentially how I did it. I just saw all these other people doing it. And I was, reading books and listening to Tony Robbins and, all this other stuff. It was just, I had just the mindset was just like, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it out there and see what happens. And then I did it. And, the quality wasn't great at first, but it was good enough. And the reason why that's, I think, so important is I was able to get it out there so quickly. I didn't have to spend years. I think you probably know better than me. What does the average course creator take from idea to selling?
I don't know, but I see far too many people take more than a year.
Yeah. I think it's, a year and a half, maybe 2. I was able to get out in a couple months. I probably had 3 courses or 4 courses by that stage and a bit of a list just because I was able to get it out quickly, make some money, and then reinvest that money. I didn't make any money because I just reinvested it back into the business to start with, but it just enabled me to springboard really fast just because of speed.
Well, let me ask you some more questions about that. So you said like 2017, you hit $1 million. So, or it was like a 3-year from like 0 to $1 million thing. Was there
maybe 4 actually? Probably
maybe
about
4 years.
Something like that.
What? Was there like a market outside of Australia, or was this for Australians only?
Australians only.
So that's even so you got a tight niche. Like it's also geographically bound. Was there like a governing body or some kind of standard you had to be approved or something?
Yes. So that's a good point. So you didn't have to be, but you could. And I went for that option. It's the best thing I ever did for a couple of reasons. So got the course together and I was like, all right, let me reach out to Fitness Australia and let me see what I need to do to get it approved. And they sent over this long document and it looked like a pain in the ass, but I just really wanted it. I'm like, and I had the qualification. The major thing was the qualifications. It was like, you need to have a higher qualification than the people you're talking to. And I had a degree. So I was like, okay, sweet. The rest was just boxes you had to tick, but there was like 100 of them and it was a pain in the ass. But I was just so passionate about doing it. And it's the best thing ever for a couple different things. Firstly, it got listed on their website, right? So
Yeah, so
now
you get like traffic from them.
100%. That's how I was able to prove the concept, right? The first 3 sales, it maybe took 3 months, right? But I did absolutely nothing. All I did was put the course together, went on their website, and there were 3 people that, about one person a month would give me a call. Hey, I see this thing on here. What's it about? Tell me about it. Yada, 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 right? And I was able to make a call and prove the concept there. Moving forward, that helps my SEO because their backlink, their domain authority is ridiculous. But I didn't know what that was at the time, but it was just good to get it on there. And it just made it a little bit more trusted, right? Because if someone was going to buy the course, it's like a minimum standard, right? It's like, oh, it's registered with Fitness Australia. How bad can it be?
Are
It's
the
like
people that buy the course, do they have to buy it for their license or something? Or is it more of an optional thing? Somebody's just trying to improve?
So both. So as a trainer, you can register. You don't have to register with Fitness Australia. If you do register with them, you need to complete 20 CECs every 2 years, and my course counts as part, or my courses count as part of those CECs there. And there was a third thing I was going to point on that as well. Yeah, and then there's just collaboration opportunities. So now I can pay them, and they can send it out to their list of 20,000 people. Right.
Of your perfect fit customer.
Of my perfect fit customers. It's like the perfect joint. There's no better joint venture than that. And like the way I do it as well is I set it up as an opt-in. So like when they send out their email, and even going back, I think it was about $1,000 to get the course registered. But I was like, well, I'm charging $300 for it. If I sell 3 a year, it's worth it, So that's, or 4 a year, I'm in the green, So I saw it from that side of things there. And that's something I haven't pushed, but I'm going to expand on that as well, because just recently when I've been expanding into the course creator space, I'm like, hold on, it's not just fitness trainers that do these CEC things. Here in Australia anyway, there's nurses, there's physical therapists, osteotherapists, real estate agents, nurses, and I'm like, you know what I think I can do? I'm going to put together anyway, like a LinkedIn for health professionals. So not personal trainers like, you're a physio, you're a chiro, you're a osteo, and get it approved with that thing there. And then I think that's a market too.
That's awesome. That is really cool. And I've heard this story before, so I wanted to highlight it, where when you have a partnership with like a accreditation board or governing body, it can create like a real win-win between the two. So you're not just trying to get all your traffic from scratch, and you get to borrow the credibility, and you can even pay for more exposure, like the email list or a featured listing on their site or whatever it is.
Obviously it's different for different organizations, but because I've also done it in America this year, and it's completely different. Like in America, it's NASM. What happened, because they sell their own courses with NASM, right? So if you go on the NASM website, there's a section that says here are our external providers, but it's just like an Excel sheet that you can download. There's with like 500 names there, with just the name of your business and your course, whereas the Australian one, it's actually a clickable link. You can go there and, it's a list of people. You can click there, you go to my website, yada, yada, yada. So, it's different for different organizations, but if you can find a good one that supports you, it's by far the best thing ever, especially to start with, because I think the start is the hardest. To get those first few sales. Mm-hmm. And for me, it wasn't too bad because it was always a side thing, but enabled me just to make, consistent sales as a side thing without doing too much. The limitation is it'll only get you so far. It's like you make one a month, doing there, which is better than 0 a month, but it's not going to get you, $10,000 a month or $1 million a month, but it's enough to get you started. And then you can, get your own genius and expand it out there.
Well, let's fast forward like from that kind of the early days to like today. And if you want to look at this site, you can see it at fitnesseducationonline.com.au. What has the site become after 6 or 7 years or whatever?
Gotcha. Yeah. So The first few years, so it's me and a business partner as well. So Travis is my business partner who co-owned Fitness Education Online. The first sort of 2-3 years, we just put everything we know together as a course. So it started off how to run a boot camp, how to run a boot camp level 1, how to use kettlebells, how to use kettlebells level 2, how to use medicine balls, right? How to use social media, how to do sales, how to do marketing. By about 3 years, every single bit of information that was in our brain was in a course.
You ran out.
Sort of hit we ran out. Yeah. And it was always like, when you do a launch, you always make a few more sales,
Right.
So, we're like, oh man, what do we do? We've got everything and we relaunch, it's like, you promote the same course 3 months later, right? Yeah. But it's never as good as the first one, So anyway, then we're like, all right, cool. There's all these other things that fitness trainers need to know, but we don't have that skill set. The first couple, there was a nutrition course and there was a training pregnant women course, 2 very hot markets among certified trainers. Every trainer wants to get better at nutrition. Majority of, especially women trainers, want to get better at training, mums and women in general. So, but we didn't have the skill set to put those courses together, but there were people that already had those courses together. So I did a Google search. I found some online, well, there's only one at the time, actually, like an online nutrition course that sort of fit our criteria, where it was like, okay, it's the same sort of length. It's 100% online. The assessment's online. Let's do a collaboration, right? So we then got that woman's course on our website. Same with pregnancy as well. So now we're like, great, now we're getting more courses out there. We're launching more. We don't have to use our own info. Yeah, we give away 50% of the revenue on that side of things, but there's no work involved. Instead of spending, a couple months putting the course together, we're doing that. Someone else has got the course and we can just launch. Then it went to the next step. Then we're like, all right, cool. There's these markets out there that aren't tapped and people don't have courses for, but there's experts out there. There's another course on there, pelvic floor essentials. I know a woman her specialty is training women with pelvic floor issues or to help strengthen their pelvic floor. Now, she's never going to be an online course person. She likes actually training people, right? But she's got that skill set. So we're like, hey, let's work together. We've got the audience. We'll put an email out. We'll sell your course. And then you deliver it, via Zoom for 5 or 6 weeks or whatever it is. So you don't need to do any marketing. You don't need to do any sales. We do all that on our end. You just present the content, right? We then record it. We put it together as a course. We sell it, we split it moving forward. We'll get it registered with Fitness Australia. So it's a really good win-win for both parties. It's good. And it's even more powerful because now we own that course. Even though it's still 50-50 split, there's more power in our way if it's a fitness education online course that's presented by that person than someone else's company that just happens to be on our website. It works better that way. And then even summits now as well. So we'll put together a summit because we've got the audience. We've got 15,000 emails, 15,000 people in the Facebook group. So if we get a topic, we can just sell that. So now we even put together summits, maybe one every maybe a couple of years actually. Put together a summit, 4 different speakers. Each speaker will present their one session. We then put it together as a course, and then we own that course there. We pay the speaker to do, the 1 hour or 90-minute session or whatever it is, but then we put it together as a course with the 5 or 6 different speakers, and then we sell that moving forward there. So I think we must have 40, 50 courses there now, not that I've created myself, but 40, 50 courses that we sell. Some of them sell well, some of them don't. But now we also know how to predict the ones that are going to sell well as well. But that's the major thing on that course there. We've on that website. We've also got some other things. We've got a podcast. We've got a blog, YouTube channel. But they're sort of icing on top. The major thing is website and Facebook group for that business there. They're the 2 things there, and everything else is just like bonus on top. Like if we're doing we do a lot of live workouts anyway. Why not put them on YouTube? Why not put them on Instagram? But our major thing is website and Facebook group.
And what's the VIP membership?
Oh, yes. So then we also have a subscription membership. So we've actually got 3 different levels, right? We've got the major thing is our courses, which sell for about $500, give or take.
So they're like a la carte standalone.
Exactly.
About.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. give or take. We've then also got a coaching, which is like, hey, you want to grow your boot camp, but you want actual coaching. We got group coaching programs, which is about $2,000 for about a 8 to 10 week program. We've then got a subscription membership, which is $50 a month, cancel anytime. That's got similar content to what's in the courses. Even a lot of the videos are exactly the same, but it's a different way of presenting it. So we find that some people will go for the $500 because they want the step by step by step. And also with the $500, you get lifetime access. You get the certificate, you get the CECs, you get all that as well. The membership, you get some of the similar content, but once you cancel, you'll lose it all. So it's like a different, and also it's not, because we've got so many different courses, we can't have all of them in the membership site, but the membership site is similar to what's in the bootcamp course. So those three things, like the membership, the courses, and the coaching, is a very similar product. It's just like slight differences in support and what you get. So the VIP is like, you just log on to there and there's videos sort of all over the place that you can go and find. The courses is like a step by step. First do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. Also with that, you get a certificate, you get lifetime access, you get CCs. And the coaching is basically that as well, but you get a weekly Zoom session as a group.
Wow. Lots of nuggets of wisdom there. Tell us more about the transition to not away from, but to also serve the course creator community. Like, why did that happen? And how did that happen? And how did you not, like, sometimes people, they just move on, but you still have this other business. You're not going to let it go away. Right. So tell us that story.
Yeah. So the reason why I'll never let the fitness education online one go away, firstly, it's just so profitable, right? So even now, I do pretty much nothing in that business. I've hired someone else to run everything, and I profit about $10,000 a month in my bank account, pretty much purely passive income. So I'm like, why would I give it up?
Well, hold on. One question there. That person you hired, what do you call them? Are they like a manager, a president, a CEO?
I've got a few actually. So it's me and my business partner. It's the two of us. Then we've got on the sales and marketing side of things, we've got a sales and marketing manager. So she does all our emails. She does all our Facebook ads. She does all our social media sales sort of posts. And she's also hired a sales team with 2 people that do the sales calls underneath her. And we've also got 2 VAs, virtual assistants, who do like the organic social media stuff, which is under her direction here. So that's like one side of the business, sales and marketing manager. And then she's got, a couple sales staff and a couple social media staff underneath her on that side there. Then on the other side of things, we've got the operations, which is, the coaching, putting together the courses, collaborating with the people, writing some blogs, that side of stuff there. My business partner is mainly the operations manager there, but we've also got an operations worker there as well, who does some of that stuff there too. And then some virtual assistants over that side as well that can help with, the little fiddly bits over there. But if we had to summarize it, so me and a business partner up the top, and then let's say a sales and marketing manager on one side that does all that side of things, then an operations manager on the other side, and they do those sorts of things there. And then my role is basically to make sure those two are talking together. Hey, operations, what are we launching? Cool. Sales and marketing, here's the plan for this here. Get this ready, get that ready.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's get back to the transition to course creator community. Like what happened there? What was when did the light bulb go off that, hey, I want to do this other thing too?
Yeah, it was always sort of there because there were a couple things. It's just I'm really passionate about it. I just love talking about it. And then I'd go to different conventions, Social Media World and Traffic and Conversion Summit and all that sort of stuff. And it was similar to like my journey in the fitness education online space, where like I'd go to all these courses and I'm like, I think I can put something better. Like everything these presenters are talking about, these courses are doing, I'm doing it and I think better as well, but I'm not teaching it to. And also the other thing is a lot of the stuff I wasn't teaching because it's completely different. It's completely different. I shouldn't say completely. There's differences. There's obviously similarities in any business and marketing, but there's a lot of things that I do to grow my own fitness education online business that I can't teach face-to-face personal trainers. You know,
Right.
it's just there's differences between an online course business and a fitness business. So I had this skill set that I know in my head, but I'm not teaching it to anyone. And it's something that fired me up, you know, where I'm like, I feel I can, this stuff that people are doing, I know, and I can do better than or different to some of these people here. So I want to put something together. And that was like years, to be honest, like from about 2019, I'd say I was thinking about it. I didn't know, and even now, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, right? But even from about 2019, I was like, I really want to do something in that space, you know, but I was so busy in fitness education online that I couldn't really do it. I couldn't really focus. So yeah, then my focus was, right, how do I get hands-off fitness education online? You know, how can I just get everyone else running things for me so I don't need to do anything, so I can clear up my space there? And then even then, I didn't know what I'm like, okay, I know I want to help course creators, but I don't know what I'm going to help them with, because in my business, fitness education online, I use every trick in the book. You know, there's Facebook ads, there's Google ads, there's SEO, there's putting the course together, there's sales calls, there's webinars, there's the Facebook group, there's a podcast. And it's like, man, and also it took me like, you know, 4 years to master all this stuff. So I'm like, I can't just say to someone, hey, just, you know, do my 3 to 4 year course and do all these different things and you'll be like, I am there, you know? So I just dabbled with a few different things, you know, and I was like, well, the first thing I'm going to do is start a podcast because it's easy, you know? So I'm just going to start a podcast. I'm just going to speak to different people in the space there and just, you know, network, see where that goes there. And I was like, you know what? The next thing I'm going to do is create a Facebook group, because if I have a Facebook group, I can make it about the community. You know, it doesn't need to be just me trying to, you know, spread a message. It's like, hey, we're all course creators. Let's create a community. And that's where I am there. You know, that's the space there. And I think the direction I'm going to go is the Facebook group space, where I think I'm just going to say, hey, you know, you're a course creator. You need an audience. There's plenty of different ways to do it. My recommendation is go a Facebook group, because bang, 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 bang. You want to grow a Facebook group? Here's the perfect course for it. I've used these strategies to grow this Facebook group to 15,000, this Facebook group to 5,000 in, you know, less than a year. And, you know, here's how it gets engagement, yada, yada, yada. That's the direction I think I'm going to go.
I love that. I love that. And I've watched you come up in the course creator community with your Facebook group. And you came up fast, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this guy doing?" So, what did you learn in having Facebook groups for fitness that you would like? What are some tips you'd recommend to people who are looking to do some community building with a Facebook group?
Yeah, 100%. So, and this I think is my specialty as well, because even going back to my boot camp days, one of my biggest skill sets, because with those 75 franchises, you had your boot camp, but you had to have a Facebook group as well. And at the start, I thought it was a burden. You know, because I was like a 25-year-old guy or something. And yeah. I remember when I was coming last, I had to have a meeting with the franchise owners. And they're like, Jono, one of the problems is your Facebook group. That's why you're coming last. And I'm like, what? Out of all the issues I have as a personal trainer, I'm pretty sure it's not the Facebook group that's the problem. They're like, well, yeah, we kind of think it is, you know, like, you know, there's all these other, we see the 75 that are doing better than you, you know, they've got a better Facebook group. And I had a bit of an argument, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, hold on. I'm coming 75th out of 75. These people own all 75 locations. Maybe they know something that I don't. So put all my effort into just making that Facebook group engaging, right? Just knowing what post would work, what post wouldn't work. And I got it ridiculously engaging, right? But that was easy because they were also my clients as well. It's easier if it's, you know, a face-to-face and online thing. But when I started fitness education online, didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was good at Facebook groups. So I started a Facebook group and I was able to test out what worked there. And then then that was a lot of trial and error as well. But I was like, cool, I know what works solely online. So when I started the course creator community, I was just able to use everything I learned from those and start off with a bang. So this is what I'd recommend for everyone starting off. There's 2 things I do when, actually I'll go step by step. We'll go, right, step by step. So the first thing I recommend, if you want to start a Facebook group, is don't start a Facebook group until you have about 100 ideal members. right? For a few different reasons. So when I started the Course Creator community, I was networking for a few months beforehand, going on podcasts, being having a podcast myself, connecting with people on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, people that I met at conventions. And I purposely didn't start the Facebook group until I had about 100 people I knew that I could say, hey, Chris, I've started this Facebook group and I'd love to have you in there. Here's the link. Do you want to join? All right. So the advantage of that is I didn't have a Facebook group with 20 people in there because that's hard to build from there, on a couple of different reasons. So I was like, Chris, I got this Facebook group, come and join. And I got 20 people in there. Chris is going to be like, yeah, all right, Jono. And he'll join and then he'll leave the next day, or, there'll be no conversation going on in there. So there's no real value. It won't come up in his feed. But because I waited until I had 100 people, then I did like a bit of a launch for the Facebook group there with like email and posts on my Facebook and some messages to my friends that I knew would be a good fit. I was able to start that group off with a bang. So it started off with 100 people on day one. And then also, they were also my friends as well. So I was able to say, hey, make a post and introduce yourself and let everyone know what you do. So, and it wasn't just a random asking them, it was a friend or a person they actually knew, right? So from day one on that Facebook group had 100 people with everyone just posting, hey, here's what I am, here's what I do. And like, it was a bit of a buzz because it was a new group and people are liking and commenting and friend requesting. And so that's tip number one. Wait till you've got 100 people to join, because then you join with a bang. The other advantage is it means you've got some form of lead generation strategy. Now, there's plenty of different strategies out there. We can go into detail if that in that as well if you want.
You mean like a plan for how you're going to get people out of Facebook into your email list?
Exactly the same. So that was my plan. It was like, okay, before I can grow this group, let me build my email list and also ideally add friends on Facebook as well. But it was ideally the email list. So I was like, all right, what can I do on Facebook to grow my email list? Okay, what can I do on Instagram to grow my email list? What can I do on LinkedIn to grow my email list?
What can you do on a Facebook group to grow your email list?
Okay, on Facebook in general?
Yeah. Okay. Well, in a Facebook group, like how do you end up getting emails out of Facebook?
From my Facebook group or from someone else's? Because they're two different strategies.
From yours.
Okay,
maybe both, but from yours to start.
Okay, so give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone alarm just went off. Okay, so in my group here, there's a few different strategies. The basic one is the welcome question when someone joins. So if somebody's going to join my Facebook group, I've got 3 questions. Are you a course creator? To validate them. How did you hear about me? Just so I can sort of see how my marketing is working. And drop your email below if you'd like a free copy of my online course. Insert lead magnet there. Right? Okay. That's the base. In my experience, if it's a good lead magnet, about 30%. All right. If you're getting any less than 30%, the lead magnet's probably not juicy enough, right? That's option one. But most people, 70% of people won't do that, right? So that can't be my only strategy, because then I'm only going to cover, 30%. I then do a welcome post in the group for the new members. Hey, new members, welcome to the group. You get a free copy of insert lead magnet. Just click the thing here, and I tag all the new members there. So there's a second shot at it there, right? Do
you set up that manually, or do you use that automated one that Facebook throws up to welcome new members?
Yeah, that automated one. Yeah. And my VA does that. I'm pretty sure she does that, because we get 50, 60 people joining a week at least. So it'd be a pain in the ass to manually that. So that there. And then I'm just always constantly throwing freebies out there. I'll do at minimum a webinar every month, right? And then, hey guys, I'm running a webinar on, how to grow your email list, comment below if you're interested. People will register for the webinar, got to put their email in, and then I'll just throw lead magnets out there as well. Probably even every week, because I've got a heap of different freebies, every week or every couple of weeks, I'll just throw some sort of lead magnet out there, to capture leads. So there's a heavy emphasis at the start, but it's not the end at the start. Every week I'm probably doing something to try and grow that email list there.
That's amazing. What kind of other kinds of content do you put in there? Like, maybe not to get an email or anything, but what do you do in your Facebook group? Like, I think I've seen you do some live streaming.
Yep. So in the course, actually both groups actually. So there's simplified version. There's 2 types of, or maybe say 2 types of non-sales content that I'll post. I'll do a weekly live stream, just 5 minutes, just sort of one tip. And it's similar to like an email. If you're going to send an email, you'll do an email, you send one tip, hey, buy my thing. I'll also do that in a live video as well. I'll just jump on live and I'll give one tip there. The key I found with the live is always have a call to, always get some sort of interaction. Hey guys, what's happening? It's Jono here live, here in Sydney, we're in lockdown. Where's everyone else in the world from? Some sort of question to get conversation. Or, hey, we're all course creators here, out of curiosity, what platform does everyone use? Oh, everyone uses LifterLMS. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. You're always some sort of, question to engage people, but also a call to action at the end. Hey, by the way, I'm running a webinar this month, comment X below and I'll send it over to you. Or, hey, I've got this free thing, comment below and I'll send it over to you. Or, hey, I've got this membership site, covers this, comment below and I'll get it over to you. There's always something. Because the key to growing your own Facebook group is engagement, but ideally engagement from other people, right? I don't want it just to be me posting. That's why I just do the one live stream a week. And my goal, and there's the other thing I post myself is just engagement posts. I just want to post something on there to get people to engage, but not silly posts like, what do you prefer? Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, that stuff's not bad. You can do elements of that, but like what I want to do is just find the points that fire people up in my audience. So my engagement questions will be things like I'm thinking of a few recent good ones I did. One was like, hey guys, I got to win an argument. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody prefers Dropbox over Google Drive. It's not really going to get me sales, but there were so many people just like Dropbox sucks. No, Google Drive sucks. Just if I can speak, and in the fitness world, it would be things like, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. No one prefers dumbbells to kettlebells, right? And then same thing, the people that like kettlebells are going to be like, yeah, dumbbells suck. The people like dumbbells are like, what are you talking about? You hurt your back if you do kettlebells. Beginners can't do it, So I purposely try and find posts. I'm not doing it to get likes and comments, but that's the result of me knowing my audience well. It's like, okay, let me do this post. And if I do it properly, my audience is going to get fired up and comment, which shows that I know my audience well, which is going to help me come through with sales. So I'm very strong on those things. And also it helps with the algorithm. If you do a post like that, people like and comment on it. Then on the next post, if you want to sell something, you're going to get more traction because your previous ones have been like that. And also it just gets people involved in the group. If they've liked and commented on your post, they might see other posts from the group that pop up in their feed. So they're the two major things I do that aren't sales based. But the other major thing I focus on more than those is getting other people to post. And that's the other thing I did well from the start is I'm like, before I start this Facebook group, and that's what I recommend everyone as well, have a strategy on getting other people to post. Right?
Like introductions, like introduce yourself.
Well, I've got 9 different things,
Whoa.
I'll run through. Yeah, I'll run through as much as I can in the next 9 minutes because I want to be respectful of your time. Yeah. But that's definitely the best first one, all right? Especially if you have a small group and there's not a lot of people coming in there. Then and I get my virtual assistant to do it anyway. I'm just like, hey, anyone that joins this group, add them as a friend and just send them a DM and say, hey, I'm the social media manager from the group. Thanks for joining. Anything we can help you with? Great. Oh, that's what you do. Cool. By the way, make a post in the Facebook group and introduce yourself. Right.
Hey, quick question there. So your virtual assistant has your main Facebook logins?
No. She does it from her account.
So who's she friending?
Anyone that joins the Facebook group.
From the Facebook page or like who? Or
go ahead.
So
let's say someone joins my Facebook group,
yeah,
right, or requests to join the Facebook group. She takes care of the accepting. So she'll do a screen. Okay, is this person a fit? Yep, great. Accept. Great. Let me also add this person as a friend, Then she'll send that person a DM, hey, what's happening? I'm the social media manager of Course Creator Community. I see you joined the group. Yada. What do you do? Oh, great. Hey, go and make a post and introduce yourself, right? Some people will accept, some people won't. Some people do the post, some people won't. But the key is some people will, so it gets something going. And the people that will are then more engaged because other people are going to like, comment, they've posted, yada. But also what happens is it lights the fire. Because let's say someone doesn't accept Phoebe's friend request, right? But they join the group and they see there's 2 or 3 posts of people introducing themselves. Oh, I guess you just join this group and introduce yourself. I'll make a post and introduce myself, So it gets you do the manual work at the start, but then it goes, it builds from there. Another one that I do is I've always got action tasks in my courses, even my free courses, right? So let's say, for example, let's use the course creator community as an example. One of my free courses is how to create your first course in 48 hours. You're essentially creating a mini course or a lead magnet, right? And I teach people how to do it in that mini course, but I say, hey, I've given you the 5-minute overview. What a better idea is, go and make a post in my Facebook group and say, hey guys, I'm looking for ideas for my mini courses on my opt-in page. Can everyone post theirs below so I can get an idea, right? Someone does that, it's a win-win-win, because if that person makes that post, everyone in my group wants to get their freebie out there for other people to see. So it's going to get a heap of different comments there, but it's also value for the person posting. Instead of them just seeing my one example, oh shit, here's 50 examples. Let me check out this one. Oh, let me check out this one. Let me check out this one, and then it's a win for me because it's engagement in the group going on, right? And I've got them all scattered down below. If we're going to the fitness world, if you do my kettlebell course, one of the questions is, hey guys, what's your favorite kettlebell workout? I've given you my 10 favorite, right? But go in this Facebook group, there's 15,000 in there. You might get heaps more. Same in the fitness world. Everyone wants to share their favorite kettlebell workout because they think it's the best. So if you do my kettlebell course and you make a post in that Facebook group, then, you've got a whole heap of different kettlebell ideas, and it's a win-win-win again. And also the mindset is, this group is sick. I make a post and I get 50 comments. I'm always posting in this group. I'm not going to Google to find workouts. I'm going in this group. I'm not going to YouTube to find out, the best lead magnets. I'm going to this group here. Right?
Yeah,
So
they feel supported. I mean, that's the whole point of community, is to feel supported. I can tell you can just keep going, and this is awesome. And this is why you definitely need to make a course about how to use Facebook, specifically groups, the right way. Go to coursecreatorcommunity.net and check out more about Jono. I did want to ask you before we sign off here, you did mention something about getting leads out of other people's Facebook groups, without being spammy or getting kicked out or whatever. Like, how do you do that? Or what do you recommend?
Okay. Yes. Well, I've got a whole heap of different strategies there as well.
What's your best one?
I would say the best one, or the one at least to start with, is collaborating with the group owner. And this is a perfect example.
Like you're doing right now?
So I'll give an example. Chris, I checked my Facebook group this time last week and I got like 10 new friend requests in an hour. I'm like, what the hell? And then I checked it, and one of my questions is, where did you hear about me? It's Chris Badgett. I'm like, what the hell is this? Then I checked my notifications. Chris made a post saying, hey, go and check out this guy's Facebook group, right? And I got 10 new people in like an hour, it's a record. And that's obviously the perfect example, but I'll share the overview and then we'll go from there. So I've got a podcast, and that's the major reason why I have my podcast is networking. It's like, right, no, I shouldn't say major. Well, I guess that's how I use my podcast for lead gen. It's not so much to get it number one on Apple, because I'm not good at the podcast stuff, but I'm like, all right. If I want to do a collaboration with Chris, I can't just hit him up in the DM and say, do a collaboration with me. It's not going to work. He's probably get some heaps of them, and he's going to be.
You invited me on.
What's that? Exactly. I was like, all right, let me get Chris on my podcast. So you have an
audience of course creators. Hey, you want to come talk to my people? How can I not say yes?
Made it a win for Chris. I'm like, if I make it a win for, and not everyone is going to do what Chris did and make a post in their Facebook group and say, join this guy's Facebook group. That's the best one I've ever done. So thank you for that. But there's always going to be variations of that. Most people, if they have a podcast, will invite you on that podcast, or if they have a Facebook group, and even just prompting. Like, even if Chris didn't ask me to be on here, I probably would have hit him up in a couple of weeks. I would have been like, hey, Chris, out of curiosity, what could I do to pitch myself as a guest on your podcast, and then see what he said. And most people say, if you've done a good job, and also the way I try and work my podcast is to make it as much of a win for that person as possible, because I want to make it about them. And then that increases my chances of them having me on either their podcast, or if they've got a Facebook group, can be live. Hey, by the way, Chris, do you ever do like live streams in your Facebook group? Would you mind if I did one? Or is there any way we could do one? Or, I won't sell anything. I just want to give value to your people there, right? Most people are cool with that there. So you
should totally do a live stream in my Facebook group. I love it. I love to see members make content. And I know you're going to make useful content because you're helping course creators. I do got to wrap it up, Jono. Was there one more thing you were going to say there?
No, well, I was just going to add on to that as well. Then you've sort of got options. Like, once you're friends with the group admin, then everything becomes a lot easier. It can be a matter of, hey, do you want to do a lead magnet swap? Or also the group, the person will feel less threatened. You know, if I was to go and interact in Chris's group now, he knows that I'll do just as much to promote him as possible. So he won't feel threatened if I'm answering a question in there or whatever. But if I hadn't collaborated with the group admin, they may be, oh, who's this? Oh, he's also got a course creator group. Ban him there, you know? So I think that the good first step is do a collaboration with the group admin. And the easiest way to do that is make it a win for that person first. The podcast is the easy way to do it. So, and it doesn't have to be I'm probably getting off tracky, but the easiest, I think, is start a podcast, connect with heavy hitters, get them on your podcast without any expectation of return, and then it will probably come back. And that's the easiest base one to do. And if you do it properly, you do a podcast every week, get someone else on as a guest, and it'll waterfall on. You know, next week, I've got another podcast with, I don't know if you know Melody Johnson. She's got another course creator podcast. The week after that, I'm with John Ainscoe. He's got another one. So all these podcasts I did, you know, the weeks ago, it's coming back in return now. And then I'm going to hit those people up in about a month's time and say, hey, do you want to do a lead magnet swap? So it's a bit of work at the start, but then it just becomes this waterfall and you've just got like a bunch of people that you can collab with.
I can't wait to see the course about this. I'm buying it. This is Jono Petrohilos. His Facebook group and his podcast is called Course Creator Community. Jono, is great to connect again. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. Is there any final thing for the people listening or watching of how they can connect with you?
Nah, best just type whatever platform you use, type Course Creator Community in there. I'll pop up something, and then you'll probably get a DM from my assistant just saying, hey, join the Facebook group. No matter what platform you join on, that it leads back to the Facebook group.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jono. And that's a wrap for this episode of LMScast. Did you enjoy that episode? Tell your friends and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And I've got a gift for you over at LifterLMS.com/gift. Go to LifterLMS.com/gift. Keep learning, keep taking action, and I'll see you in the next episode.